Over? Did you say over? Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
German? Forget it, he's rolling.
And it ain't over now. Because when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Who's with me? Let's go! Come on!
I got it wrong in the handling of the Ray Rice matter. And I'm sorry for that. I got it wrong on a number of levels, from the process that I led to the decision that I reached. But now I will get it right and do whatever is necessary to accomplish that.
If you heard right from the top of the program, I brought you in a little clip of part of the Roger Goodell press conference from yesterday. I was actually a little bit surprised to find yesterday morning when I got up to hear that Roger Goodell, in fact, would be making an appearance. He had, I guess the media loved to hype it out that way, that he was like in hiding or something, kind of like Osama bin Laden or something, huddled in a cave somewhere in Afghanistan, hiding out from the media and didn't want his face to be shown for about the past 10 days following the controversies with the Ray Rice suspension. It was 2 games. No, we made a mistake. It's 6 games. No, we made a mistake. It's, what? Yeah, it's indefinitely. All right. Okay. All right. Anyhow, Roger Goodell citing yesterday afternoon at 3 o'clock as he came out in a press conference. I watched it live on ESPN. And I must tell you right from the start, I went into it completely unbiased. I had no preconceived concepts about what I expected to hear or didn't expect to hear or whatever. I mean, really, I was going into it as a sports talk guy. It's timely. This is a big issue. It's been polarizing. It's rocked the NFL now for the better part of almost 2 weeks. It has really put, pardon the pun, it's put a black eye on the early part of this entire NFL season. And I went into it with a kind of nonplus. Here comes Roger Goodell. Let's see what he has to say. And I listened to him. And I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I was okay with everything he said. Now, I'm probably going to present here for you for a couple of moments a somewhat unpopular opinion. So let me do this right now. I'm going to throw the phone number out because, I'm sure that I might just, in fact, get a few of you riled up and maybe you want to call in. Hey, you can reach me. I'm more than happy to take your phone calls. 347-826-9964. 347-826-9964. And maybe what you want to do is start dialing it in right now and get in line. Because I got a question for everybody out there with regard to Roger Goodell. What did you want? Because I haven't heard one person say what they wanted from Roger Goodell yesterday. I don't believe. I sat there watching it, and as I watched it, I'm everybody here at the Frat House knows I'm very well connected. I got Twitter going on one computer, I got Facebook going on another computer, and I got the TV going. And I'm fully loaded. I got the phone going. Yeah, I'm even starting to use that a little bit more. So I'm fully hooked up here. I'm in touch with everything right at the moment. And Roger Goodell hadn't even answered his first question, and social media was blowing up, lambasting this guy. What do you people want from this? I don't believe at this point right now our society wanted anything, and when I say our society, I'm not including myself. I'm saying with a broad brush, wasn't going to be happy with anything but this man standing up there and within the first 30 seconds saying, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to announce to you that I am resigning as commissioner of the NFL. Thank you very much for coming. I'll see you all later. You weren't going to be happy with anything but that. What was this man supposed to do? He got up. He presented a case. I buy it in some respects. The only thing that I'm going to have trouble with later on is if we find out somewhere along the line that this man knowingly obfuscated, lied, redirected the truth in some way or another. Then I might change my tune. But for the moment, here was the problem he was dealing with. He had to use precedents. He's dealing with a union. He's dealing with a powerful union from the standpoint that they're publicly powerful. One false move by the NFL, and the union will step out there and raise such a ruckus. Oh, God, the media would just love it. They would love that. They love feeding on that kind of stuff. What was he supposed to do? He's looking back at the time that Ray Rice was suspended for those 2 games. We all sat there, everybody, including myself. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not defending what happened here. Roger Goodell said, and you heard me play the clip, he made a mistake. Yes, I got it. He made a mistake. He's right. He did. I said it right here on Frat House Sports Show. I said it way back at the end of July. I said, if there's anything that's going to bring this man down, it might just be this right now. Because this was silly. We look at it and we go, you know what? The crime that Ray Rice committed, that was even before we saw the video inside the elevator. We only had seen the other video. We already knew. We, as human beings, knew that a 2-game suspension wasn't enough for that crime. We knew that. But when you're dealing in an environment like the NFL, where you've got this union over here that's applying pressure, and amazingly now, that very union is appealing the indefinite suspension right now of Ray Rice, which just blows my mind. So who's really the bad guy? Let's get this one straight, folks. I don't hear anybody coming out against the NFLPA right now. He's got that on one side, and he's trying to balance it against previous precedent inside of what this league has had to deal with in the past. And so he did the best he could. He admits he made mistakes. He presented a plan yesterday to try to address it in the future. I understand. He didn't address everything maybe everybody wanted to. Yeah, he skirted a couple of questions. Yeah, he put a couple of things on the shoulders of Mueller, who is doing the internal investigation of the NFL. I understand. That's really right. He can't discuss that if, in fact, there's an ongoing independent investigation. He shouldn't be discussing it publicly. Don't pressure him to do so. He can't discuss necessarily a lot of the details of the Ray Rice situation if, in fact, the NFLPA is appealing it. That's right. He can't necessarily get into all the details about it. And yet, I'm reading a column this morning over at the New York Daily News. All right, and he makes the comment. Roger Goodell, spoke about domestic abuse as only an economics major can. A CEO with good intentions and a bureaucratic plan, but with an emotional detachment that suggested too little empathy or shame. What do people want? And that is the question I throw out there. Would this columnist have been happy had Roger Goodell gotten up there and cried in front of everybody? Pulled his hanky out? What does he want? What do people want? 347-826-9964. I got to listen to Teddy Bruschi scream on the screen how he wants a new commissioner for his team, for his league. No, you're not telling me what you want from this commissioner. Everybody is criticizing Roger Goodell, but nobody is saying what they wanted him to do. I get the sense that the majority of people were not going to be satisfied unless, in fact, he stood up there and said, I'm resigning. Nothing was going to satisfy them at all. But that. I'm willing at this point right now to continue to sit back and view the progress as it goes forward. I'll gauge it. I'll judge it as it moves forward. I didn't go into that yesterday expecting Roger Goodell to stand up and resign. I think that would have been just mind-boggling, to be honest with you. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect him necessarily to come clean on everything either. So I guess basically what we got yesterday was what I expected. 347-826-9964. That's how you can get in, and that's how you can give me your opinion. I'd love to hear from some folks out there. What is it that everybody's so angry about? What is everybody so angry at Roger Goodell for? We don't know. We don't have evidence that he lied yet. It's possible. I can see where it's possible, but we don't know that specifically just yet. I'd like to hear from people. The thing that just is incredible to me is how we've got players that are doing heinous things off the field, but somehow or another, we're not necessarily taking our rage out on them. We're turning it around and we're putting our anger on the commissioner. He didn't commit the acts, you know. And I started out this program by asking the question, you know, what did people want from Roger Goodell yesterday during his press conference? It seems to me that this is what they wanted.
In 2012, after Bountygate, you suspended Sean Payton for a year. You said ignorance is not an excuse. A lot of people think you're not holding yourself to that same standard. Have you considered resigning at any point throughout this?
I have not. I'm focused on doing my job and doing the best of my ability. I understand when people are critical of your performance, but we have a lot of work to do. That's my focus. We've been busy in the last couple of weeks. We have results to show for it. We've talked about some of them in my statement, but I'm proud of the opportunity that we have to try to make a difference here and do the right thing. We've acknowledged that we need to change what we're doing. Now we have to get to what are those changes going to be.
I had no preconceived notions, as I pointed out at the top of this program here on Frat House Saturday. I had no preconceived notions going into that press conference as I watched it live at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon over on ESPN. I did not think that Roger Goodell should resign. I don't think that Roger Goodell should resign at this moment. I don't think he should be thrown out at this moment. I say you sit back, you let this progress, let this move forward, and we see where it goes from there. Let me acknowledge for a moment one of our listeners that's tuning in with us right now, a good friend of mine from up in the Allentown, Pennsylvania area, and that's Linda. And Linda just listened to the last clip that I played from Thursday night, where you heard the debate going on back and forth with regard to everything that has gone on within the past couple of days. Adrian Peterson and all of the others that have been involved in the situations, Greg Hardy, Jonathan Dwyer. What's the NFL's response? I took a bit of exception to the comments by Hannah Storm from over there at ESPN. Linda reminds me in the chat room, however, she doesn't have a problem with it. Her comments to us from the chat room, Hannah has some extremely good points. Aside and apart from the moral issues of domestic violence and child abuse maybe the powers that be will pay attention from an economic point, since dollars is what drives them. 45% of the NFL consumers, dollars is nothing to turn your nose up at. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. You're right. You're absolutely right. But far too often, I think that what happens is we do see that so much of our society is, in fact, driven by special interest pressure being applied vis-a-vis money. I'm not sure. Is this a situation where we simply want to squeeze Roger Goodell out simply because you got a couple of saber rattlers out there like Procter & Gamble or Budweiser? I don't know. Respect the opinion. Good stuff. I appreciate that coming to us over in the chat room. That's the kind of thing you can get in on. 347-826-9964. You can get in and jump in with us.